video games as I first knew them were single-screened. Titles like Dig Dug, Donkey Kong, and Pac-Man. All beloved arcade classics that stood the test of time, mainly because of their simplistic nature. Developers were creative with the limited capabilities of the hardware. With ideas running short, programmers began implementing screen transitions, much like Activision's Pitfall. For the time, Pitfall was a spectacle, mainly because it was on the underpowered Atari 2600. Crazy to think now, but animated sprites were far and few on the console. Remember the quote-unquote whip from Indiana Jones? Well, here we have a fully animated vine that you can swing on. And that sound he makes when he's swinging is a Tarzan howl. All of this was possible through smart programming, but gaming still had a way to go. When the North American video game crash happened, it was limited to the console market. The second generation of gaming went out with a whimper, not a bang. Now we come to the third generation of gaming. Action platforming titles were all the rage. Games like Castlevania, Mega Man, Ninja Gaiden, and Super Mario Bros. Were archetypes for a new genre. Everything was animated and screens could seamlessly scroll, creating worlds that would capture our imagination for years to come. The industry was expanding, and so was the technology. The personal computer market was booming due to their multiple functionality, coupled with microprocessors becoming more affordable. Publishers and gamers took notice of not only the power, but the non-uniform approach to game development. Point and clicks, flight sims, first-person shooters, and just about anything else they'd want to program. Among the various computers and startup development teams was a series that ran on the Amiga, a line of computers with an interesting story all of its own. Today, I'm here to talk about Shadow of the Beast, a game that was released in 1989 and dragged industry standards through the dirt. Not that it was particularly a great game, but the presentation was astounding. I mean, look at all those friggin' layers of parallax scrolling. It featured large sprites, breathtaking visuals with otherworldly designs, and one of my favorite soundtracks to date. In 2013, Sony announced a remake for Shadow of the Beast, and it was in development by a British game developer. Heavy Spectrum wanted to resurrect a series that was near and dear to them. Their current claim to fame is Shadow of the Beast. They are currently developing a title called Ori. I don't know how to say it. But the trailer for this game honestly reminds me of Journey on PS4, if you've ever played that. Although they're sporting a sort of minimalistic art style here, the color choice really makes things pop. I'm getting a little off track here though, so let's jump back into Shadow of the Beast. The game starts with ships flying overhead. You don't even know who you are, or where, or even why this sorcerer's leash is around your neck. One thing is very clear, he's in control, and it's made more apparent as he forces you to tear through anyone or anything trying to oppose you. Most of the fighting in this game happens in waves. As you approach a foe, these force fields will appear and you must clear all enemies to push on. Now, from what we can tell about the ships and these knights is that we have a full-scale invasion on our hands with our beast at the helm. Ripping through every last knight, the stage continues on and the landscape opens up. As the camera pans back, we get a sense of the world. It's sprawling fields lush with green grass and tall trees swaying in the wind. Alien mountains with sharp, jagged peaks and bridges used to cross ravines flowing with water. Shadow of the Beast takes great care in submersing and captivating the player in its sci-fi world where blue skies bleed into purple. You are forced to kill no matter what. This is the only life the beast has known, so much to the point that it's not even questioned. But when this High Lord touches the beast, something snaps. A memory is shared. What? This isn't the first time they've attacked this village and taken a baby? Well, that explains why they were so prepared for a siege at this magnitude. The warrior servant fires back with a burning rage and breaks free, slashing at his master as he runs off with the child. Before we can give chase, he flings blood onto the ground to summon creatures from another realm. This is where we get our first look at Rage Mode. It's a sequence of attacks performed in timing events that are quick. Yeah, okay, it's pretty much a quick time event. Failing this will only drop the combo, and not a boulder on your back like another game. So, the flow of combat stays rather progressive and never kilters off point. This is where the game starts to send you on a real guilt trip. The once peaceful place was now a smoldering fire. All its occupants have been slain, their blood painting the ground a fresh coat of red. All for an infant. What could these vile beasts want with such a futile life form? Backtracking on our path, we head through the woods, giving chase. The beast continues to slice through everything like hot butter. The way he moves, attacks, shreds enemies in half and throws them around, climbs walls, and does these little short hops over walls makes the character that much more believable. This is how you re-envision a game. By the time I arrived at the first boss, I was very confident that things were under control. The shackles have been broken, and for the first time this beast had motives of its own. Charging at the monster, you slash and avoid its attacks, withering down his health bar. The music is heroic sounding and really makes you feel good once the challenge is completed. That is unfortunately fleeting when the creature's blood spills, giving life to the tree as it opens up. This journey was far from over. The later game consists heavily of puzzles that have you traveling through maze-like stages. They made real good use of the mechanics, and it starts to feel like a cinematic platforming game in the vein of Prince of Persia or Out of This World. Every single stage has a subset of enemies that are stronger than the last, but unique to that area. The artist went all out when crafting this gritty world, and I found myself transfixed between the music and atmosphere. You only get so much time to soak that in, then it's back to bloodying up foes. As for endgame, there is a ton of things to unlock with more than one ending. Shadow of the Beast doesn't force you to start the whole game over though. You can simply check out what you missed at the map screen, then go back into the stage and find it. Trying to capitalize on combos and increase your overall score can be rewarding, if that's the type of thing you're into. I wouldn't call it leaderboard chasing, but it made the extra playthroughs a little bit more enjoyable. Going back a second time knowing the whole story really gave the music some weight. They were already captivating and set the mood. The tones are heightened and make you feel just a little deeper for the game's lore. There are so many little things that come together, making this a must-buy. If you have any interest in trying the original, Heavy Spectrum went ahead and made a port of the Amiga version. This is arguably the best way to enjoy the original. Why? Because you can give yourself infinite lives, and you're going to need them. Oh, did I mention that you can actually swap out the new soundtrack for the original? Yeah, it's just another reason to 100% this game. And that's where I'm gonna cut it. This was just a way for me to introduce you to the game. All I can say is Shadow of the Beast is a spectacle in both gameplay and dynamic storytelling. The original may have aged like old milk, but this will carry the torch from here on out. Honestly, if my power supply didn't fry when my house flooded, I wouldn't have touched this game for a long time. But there was just nothing else for me to do, and I had to wait a week for my new one to ship, so this video was a long time coming. I just didn't know how to present it. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best game ever, but I do believe that Shadow of the Beast on PlayStation 4 is a trashed classic. This game is available through digital download, or you can import a physical copy that has all the English text. There was zero voiceover, so don't think you'll be missing out on anything. Thank you for watching the video. Exposure to these gems is my main game. And to those of you who support the channel by watching, sharing, or contributing to my Patreon, thank you. If you want to see more videos on hidden gems, make sure to subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss what's next.